forget to click that button and subscribe to my mom's channel.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Denise, the host of Shade Chronicles podcast and the writer of Shade Chronicles, the blog. If you are here, I thank you for coming. I welcome you into my space. You guys, I've been working so hard. I'm super excited about this, and I don't know what the fuck is going to come out of my mouth, but I do know that it's going to be an experience for both of us, all of us, and collectively as a community. And it's going to be a safe place for us to just be free and be ourselves. This podcast was mainly because of the blog. I was receiving breakthrough with writing that blog and continuing to write the blog, but I found that I didn't feel like it was still creating the impact that I was trying to create. My words are great and they seem to be helping some people, but for me personally, I still wasn't shouting loud enough. I wasn't hearing myself. I was writing them, but I wasn't receiving it enough. And if you know me, or if you know a Pisces, nah, if we gonna do it, we gonna do it all the way. This healing process is my journey. It's my journey to loving myself, which, goddamn, I love myself. I feel amazing, but finding love, learning to love, but mostly the most important thing that I'm getting from all of this is not only my relationship with myself, but the relationship with the people that are around me the most, the people I love, the people I cherish. This blog has just opened so many doors. Let me tell you a quick story. I'm going to tell you how I got here. Let's just say, I want to say everything started with the death of my mother. My mother died in July of 2016. During that time, my marriage was on the rocks. I was on wit's end. I was very depressed. I just had my son. I think he was about 3 months. And I was just accepting the fact that I had postpartum. Never tell nobody. I don't know why I like to carry so much burden, but I never told anybody. But I was dealing with it. I also was struggling with coping with just not understanding how to maneuver in my life. I just felt like my responsibility was to make sure everyone else around me was functioning, not I. So, after my mom died, and I spent every single day at the cemetery, maybe the first year, every day, I would go to that cemetery looking for her acceptance, looking for her guidance, looking for, looking for just existence, because I wasn't ready for that closure. Not at all. I wanted to hold on because if I didn't hold on, that meant I had to walk and learn how to walk on my own. It scared the shit out of me. Until maybe just before her 1-year anniversary, it hit me. Like, I just got tired. I wanted more out of my life. And I think what really hit me was I started realizing that my children were being affected. And I started looking at everything else around me, like my job where I was working, my living situation, my relationships, my marriage. It was just, everything was just in such a bad state. And it was at that very moment I was just like, you know what? I have to be the common denominator. Like, something gotta be wrong. Like, what's up? So I just, I went into work one day and I put in my 2 weeks notice and I said, I want to go back to school. Financially, I was in a good spot. I felt like I wanted to pursue a career that would provide me some type of happiness. And I went back to school and things were great. I was going to school for business management and nursing. Don't ask me how I was going to do it. I was dedicated until the issues in my marriage became something of a little bit more, I could no longer put it on the back burner. And that was when I decided to leave my marriage. That decision alone took me out. It was a detachment that caused so much grief personally that it took me a very long time to learn how to walk again. Even though after my mom, I was barely walking. So just imagine deciding to take away a family detached from a person that I've spent so much time with and have love for and have a kid with. That was major for me. But at that time, I was just so unhappy anyway, and things just kept happening. I figured I can't feel worse than I feel right now. And I am trying to gain some type of love for myself and forgive myself for being in this position. So I just started getting rid of everything and was taking on all of it. You don't have to like me, or oh my God, this is too difficult, or now you're going to look at me this way, or people are going to talk about this. I was willing to take in all of that. I was with the business. I chose myself first for the first time. But I did not prepare for that. I was unprepared in that situation. But I took the risk. I was believing in myself for the first time. After I ended up quitting my job, going back to school, and leaving my marriage, I realized that there was no way that I could just go to school full time. I needed to work. And this transition, like, I was still in a home with my spouse. I was still trying to manage dealing with postpartum. Even a year later, I was still suffering from that. And I was still trying to learn how to be Denise without trying to have the acceptance of my mother. When I finally, what really got me to start, instead of just talking and taking action, was when I got a call one day. I got a call from a recruiting agency. It was for a job I had never applied for. Don't know where the fuck it came from, but again, I was just in a position where I needed to take care of my family, and I knew that I was ready for a divorce, and I was just ready to move forward with my life. When I got this job, let me tell you, I went in for an interview. It was actually my first day. Changed my life. And let me tell you who kickstarted it. Sally. Sally was my boss from Community Action Partnership. And she looked me in my face and spoke life to me. She reminded me of my worth. She saw what I couldn't see in myself. And she gave me such confidence and trust that she not only hired me on the same day, but promoted me to a higher position less than 30 days of being there. She kickstarted, or she ignited that flame that was out within me. And from there, it did not stop. At Community Action Partnership, I started building relationships with people. I started understanding and reminding myself of my greatness. I remembered who I was. I was no longer shy. I wasn't afraid. I was outspoken, and I was making friends again. I was identifying with myself. I had the opportunity to build Clementine. Oh my God, that program to feed people, to go into low-income homes and feed people. Who would have ever fucking thought? Me? I always knew I had it in me, but I lost it. I lost my voice. I lost everything, all because my words weren't enough. I was looking for other people to validate them for me, to make sure that what I was saying was actually right for me. Like, for real. I was banking on other motherfuckers to choose life for me. Hold on, y'all. Anyway, so I stayed at Community Action Partnership for about a little bit over a year. It was just an amazing experience. I met amazing people. It was just an opportunity. I was happy. Life was great. My home life was great. Everything was picking up. God was moving in my life. Doors were opening. It was just amazing. So as I maneuvered my way through Community Action Partnership and just enjoying in life, I was thriving. It was so fucking beautiful. I started writing. I was still not as confident as I would have liked to be. Excuse me, guys. I'm just trying to stop my phone from falling. As I would have liked to have been. But I started writing. I was writing. I had started the Woo in Me. It was an online confessional that I posted on Instagram. I kept it up for quite some time, and then things started changing in my life. And again, writing went on back to the back burner. I stopped saying and speaking and started listening and listening and listening. I started losing that confidence, that momentum. And I think now that I think back on it, I think a lot of it had to do with stress, situations that were coming on in my life. It was starting to take away from the happiness that I had, the momentum I had going at Community Action Partnership. I was trekking away. I was accomplishing things. I was figuring out who I wanted to be, what I wanted to be. My voice was coming back in a great place until that stress hit me. And I am definitely, I used to be, I will not speak that anymore, but I used to be a person of defeat. I just, whenever that stress would come along, I did not know how to deal with that. And it goes back to that attachment I had from my mother, like not being able to deal with those feelings. It was just like, Mom, help me. And it was not just, I needed to vent. In my mind, I needed you to tell me what to do. So when stress started to happen in these situations after my mom, that happiness that Community Action Partnership provided me was being overpowered. I wasn't strong enough mentally, emotionally. I didn't love myself enough to stop and say, you have to remember this is making you happy. So I received an opportunity to make a huge career change. This was huge. It was an opportunity to really change my life financially, but also put me in a position to where career-wise, I was going to be solid. Now, again, I'm working at Community Action Partnership, doing what I love, making great connections. I'm really thriving. Nothing was wrong. Everything was perfect. But because in my life there were financial issues going on, I had officially separated from, my ex-husband, and I was left to really learn how to manage a home on my own. There's no excuse for that. I just feel like, growth and maturity has taught me, to make wiser, intentional decisions. But I did decide to leave Community Action Partnership to go to my, I have to say, dream job, because at that time in my dreams, it was making money, living a lavish lifestyle, being able to pay my bills, and, just be legit. No. That was what I saw, and that's what I idolized, and that's what I thought I wanted. What I wanted was something that I'd already had. Boy, I'm just like, that revelation of realizing, like, damn, shit be right in front of your face, and your ass is just blind. But we are getting better, and I'm not there anymore, because I am here right now recording this podcast and telling you a story of how I got here. After I left Halo Top, or after I went to Halo Top, I stopped writing. The job took so much of my time. I stopped spending time with my kids. I stopped really hanging out because I had to focus. If this is what was required of me to have this lifestyle that I so wanted so bad, I was sacrificing now the relationships around me. Like about 6 months into Halo Top, I found out they were getting acquired, and that's when I started to freak out a bit. I was making good money, and then they were going to get acquired, and I'm trying to figure out, how am I going to maintain my new lifestyle that I done boosted up and gave myself with having this new job. That was a reality check. Okay? Talk about moving forward, you better always be intentional. because it was a good job then, it cost me a lot in the end. And but again, I'm always thankful for my experiences. After leaving Halo Top, Hood Intentions was launched. And let me tell you, it was Hood Intentions that really got me back in shape. It reminded me again who the fuck I am and what I am capable of. I mean, it's thriving. It's our baby. Hood Intentions is created with my business partner, Ina. And I mean, we have been talking about this for so long. And talk is fucking cheap. It's free. You can keep doing it all day. But once we actually started putting action behind all that talk, you should see how our lives are going now. Don't get me wrong, every day is a different struggle, but through these experiences, I've learned to just always move intentionally, which is why I'm here. I am here to make sure that I continuously speak life into myself. I speak life into others, and I pray that speaking these words and believing them, it's going to return to me in my favor. So this podcast, this blog, is so much more than my issues, and let's not even say issues, my experiences. It's so much more than just my growth. It's a movement. It's a chance for us to make a change internally. It's an opportunity to practice the same grace that you show others to show yourself. You deserve it. And I promise you, this place, this podcast, my blog, it is an open door for you to come, for you to reflect, and for us to share these moments together. This podcast, I will have special guests on, mostly my family and close friends. Why? Because where I am at right now, it is imperative that I make sure that I'm maintaining the correct relationships and giving them the same support and love that they need so we all can be successful. My circle around me has to be vibing on the same level that I'm vibing on. It's very important for my growth. So starting with my in-home family, my daughter, my son, my father, my brother, whoever I decide to open a can of worms with, I'm sharing those experiences with you. Sharing them mostly because it is time for us to change. And I'm so a part of the change. And I am here to initiate it in my home, my community, with you, my friends, and my family. I love you guys, and I really hope you enjoy the podcast. It's very near and dear to me. The blog is just the same. This is my life that I'm choosing to share with you, and I hope that you will open up and share with me too. I would love to hear back from you guys. Again, if you haven't checked out my blog, check out Shay Chronicles at www.shaychronicles.com to learn more about the background. On the blog, you'll learn more about my childhood traumas, and on the podcast, we'll be discussing them, but we'll also be learning how those childhood traumas has affected me in my adult life. So it's going to be pretty much a journey, but I welcome you and I'm excited. And thank you guys.